Anybody heard of Lemmings? Anybody know this? Anybody remember this? The Lemmings were a popular bunch of puzzle games in the mid-90s, which have been forgotten, I think, now. They were pretty big at the time, but nobody remembers it. As you can see down there, or as you can attempt to see, if you're not already having a seizure for this, I apologise, but this 1996 CD that I've got in my Windows 7 computer is clearly a little bit too fast for this game. Game's not quite up to snuff with this, but in any case, the bottom of the screen is trying to tell us that this is a cynosis game. Cynosis. I'm going to assume that's how you say it, but I don't care either way. Cynosis presents a game. I think I was just trying to interpret these letters earlier, and I think it says a DMA design game. I think that might be what it says at the bottom, because DMA Design was the name of the company that programmed this. A Scottish company, a humble little Scottish video game company from the mid-90s that decided somebody there one day was merrily making a little animation thing where he created a bunch of stick men in a computer drawing program, and he decided to create a bunch of happy little scenes where the stick men walk into death traps and get gruesomely, bloodily, gorily destroyed by them. And that formed the basis of Lemmings. That's where Lemmings came from. He thought, hey, this is a great idea. Why don't I make a game based on this? That's why, if you do remember Lemmings, if you've ever seen the diabolical traps, and you ever wondered why the animations for those death traps were so monstrously brutal, that's the reason. That's the whole reason behind this. And how oddly appropriate that was the origin for this game, because although Lemmings might be gone and forgotten, produced by this little Scottish tearaway company in the mid-90s, there's another series that the company makes, to this day in fact, that is slightly more well-known in the 21st century, which is Grand Theft Auto. You might have heard of Grand Theft Auto. Well, believe it or not, these guys are responsible for it. Although granted, I believe it's the development of these games are split between 6 million different studios now across the planet, but their headquarters are Scotland. Now, I've said more than enough about the Lemmings. We're going to play the Lemmings. This is my Lemmings copy. I've had this since the mid-90s on the Windows 95 computer. Lemmings. I like the interface for this. What is this? Original levels and Ono levels. I don't know if... Oh, I've played some of this already. Don't know when I did that, but whatever. We're going... Oh, I've played this too. Well, stuff that. We are going to return to Lemmings from the beginning. We're going to go with the original levels, thank you very much. We're originalists here, or whatever on earth that means. I just made it up. Fun, tricky, taxing, and mayhem. These are the difficulty settings. Well, they're the different worlds, I guess. Each one of these folders in this Windows 95 folder structure that they've put in this game has its own set of levels, and you unlock each one as you complete the one before it. Let's start with the very first level ever made in Lemmings, which is this one. Oh dear, it seems to be having some trouble loading, which is pretty ironic considering how it clearly had no trouble at all scrolling through that text on the title screen. Anyway, this is Lemmings. We are a bunch of little green-haired, blue-clothed lemmings. There was a debate, I believe, on whether the blueness was cloves or whether it was fur or what. Don't know if that debate was ever solved. I don't know if there was ever an answer to that almighty, thought-provoking question of the 90s, but I don't care either. The Lemmings are, as you can see, gradually coming out of that door. I think they've finished now. They drop in from some doorway that just appears in the middle of the blackness, and they come in from there, and then they're there. And we want to get them to that door over there. The door in question looks different depending on what kind of level it is. But the question is, as you can see, there's a giant bunch of groundness, earth underneath them, that's blocking them from getting to the door. What are we going to do with that? Well, what we're going to do with that is we're going to make use of these little icons on the bottom of the screen here, which are what give our Lemmings jobs. There was something else I was going to say about the Lemmings, but I've forgotten right now. I'll just wait until it comes back to my mind again. We can assign them different jobs from these. We'll see them as we see them. Unfortunately, we don't have any. We're not allowed to give them any of these jobs, because that white box there on each one is supposed to have a number in it to tell you how many of the job we can give. But luckily there is at least one job with a number. We've got 10 diggers. We can create 10 diggers, so let's create one digger. There, you're a digger now, that's a digger. He's going to dig his way down. Gonna dig, like the snow dwarves did in the Snow Dwarves and the Seven Whites movie. A classic from Disney. Now, They're all survived. Good, they didn't die. What was I? Well, they're all heading off. Oh yeah, I'm not controlling them either. The lemmings walk on their own. Just like, that's what I was going to talk about. The very well-known, the famous Disney documentary that they made in the 19-whatevers about lemmings, where the urban legend came from that the lemmings just walk straight off cliffs and kill themselves. Except I read somewhere that turns out that Disney didn't invent that. Actually, that myth was already around before the documentary, where they forced a bunch of lemmings to walk off cliffs and die so that they could show, hey, look, lemmings do this after all. Isn't Walt Disney such a nice man? Well, he's dead. What is this? We've completed it. We needed to get 10% of them. We got 100%. I don't know if it's even possible for any of them to die there, but yeah, you've got to get a certain number of them to that exit successfully, which we did. Superb. You rescued every lemming at that level, but can you do it again? That's an excellent question, lemmings. For your sake, you better hope I can. Unfortunately, I'm afraid to say it, but there are some levels in this game where it is completely impossible to do that. Sometimes you really can't save everyone. Just like in real life, sometimes you've just got to let go of the cut grip and just end your... just let little Billy fall down the well. Anyway, this time it's the slammers, whatever, I don't know what the name of that is. The slammers have to slam through the wall. And what's this? He's heading to the edge of the screen. Well, that's okay, we can scroll along there. That's nice. With the Windows 95 scrolling thing. Now. Oh look, there's a map down in the bottom as well. You can't see the map. You don't need to see the map, but that's okay. Just take my word for it that there's a little mini version of the screen at the bottom, below these little icons here. They're coming out. We can make them come out of that thing faster by holding down this plus button and making the number go up. Doesn't actually change anything till you let go of the button though. There you go, look, they're all falling now. Fall down. Little lambs. Now, what are we going to do here? Well, they're not heading to their deaths, mercifully. That's good. What are we going to do? Is there a time limit in this? I can't remember. No, there's no time limits, is there? Oh, there is. No, there is a time limit. Again, you can't see that, because I've not bothered to make it visible. But below the screen is a timer. Anyway, we're going to make one of these a slammer and slam the... We're going to, yeah, just as awkward as I remembered it being. We've got to try and make him bash through this grid structure, except that whenever he ends up getting to just an empty space, he stops bashing, and you've got to make someone else bash instead. As much of a classic as Lemmings was, however much it might have been forgotten now, it certainly got its fair share of 90s good old-fashioned old game flaws. One of them being that there's no way to... If there's like 5 different lemmings all on the same spot, you know, if they're all covering each other, I mean, look at this madness. If they're all just in the same place, good luck selecting a specific one of them. If there's 10 lemmings inside a tiny little ditch where there's a wall to the left and right and they're constantly walking back and forth, and you want to make them do something to the right-hand wall, good luck managing to click one that's facing right and not one that's facing left. You will end up clicking one facing left 10 times and lose all of your slammer icons. I'm going to speed this up with the fast forward button, which I just did. If you wondered what happened there, the game just went so fast when I clicked that fast forward button that it actually just immediately ended, basically. That's another thing, another quirk of running this game on a Windows 7 computer. It's just too fast for it. What do we have now? Here we have the Thunder Basement Radiators levels. Oh, and also an introduction to what I was talking about. Sometimes you just got to let Timmy fall down the well. Well, in this case, we got to use the bomb there on one of these Lemmy Wemmies. And then the Lemmy Wemmy, after the countdown goes down, he grabs his head in absolute horror, presumably, and dies. He blows up. He blows himself up. And that's for the good of his teammates. So no more needs to be said of that. They wouldn't do that nowadays. Maybe that's the reason why nobody remembers this. The suicide bombing lemmings don't necessarily fit very smoothly into things. I've been quite bad with this. I think I've just failed. I should have put one of those blockers out. Well, that's okay, that's alright. We've failed already, but it's not a problem, because we can just press the nuclear bomb button. Can't we? Well, okay, rock bottom. Hope you nuked the level. I was trying to, but I didn't manage. Anyway, this is the Thunder Basement Radiators level, and how appropriate, what an appropriate level for us to have to do such a devilish thing as bomb the Lemmings. There's the giant flaming nostril fire face that we've got to get inside. That thing's supposed to have horns growing out of its head. I don't know what happened to those. I guess they're not in this version. I would have guessed if anything would have censored those, it would have been the Nintendo version. But oh well. Apparently not. I guess Bill Gates must have had a problem with this. Bill Gates took a look at that demonic monstrous head and said, "Oh, that's disgusting. You've got to get rid of the horns. That's clearly the most disturbing thing that's happening in this level." There they are. We only had to kill 3 lemmings. Only had to blow up 3 of them. They're not technically suicide bombers. They're not suiciding themselves. I'm killing them. I'm the one putting the bomb on them and making them dead. So you can blame me. You can send your letters of complaint to me, just like you should have sent your letters of complaint to Walt Disney back when he was making that documentary that I was talking about, where he forced a bunch of lemmings to kill themselves to prove that they killed themselves. What on earth? What did I just do? The wrong thing. I must have pressed the choose level button by accident. What's next? Where are we? Where are we? Oh, now we got to use this builder. We got to become Bob the Builder for just a brief period. These are the introductory levels, so it's just showing us each skill. One by one, each level has us use a new ability to get through it. And with the builder ability, as you can see, one of the lemmings turns into Bob the Builder, channels Bob's builder spirit, and builds a giant staircase into skyness. Quite slowly, 1 brick at a time. You'll lay a set number of bricks and then you'll just stop. And you can't make him use less or more bricks, he'll just use however many bricks the game thinks he should use. I don't know how much that is. And like a lot of things about Lemmings, it shows its age. One of the things that showed its age was whatever that thing was I said earlier. The other thing though is, we don't want them to fall down there, so let's just make them all builders so that it slows them down. Or they're going to just plummet straight down into that chasm. Yeah, I didn't mention before, the Lemmings will just walk straight ahead and fall down whatever pits are in front of them. When they touch a wall, they'll turn around the other way. And that is all that they'll do, unless you tell them to do something else. They'll do those things and they'll jump into the exit if they reach it. What's that say? Yippee, okay. Yeah, yippee. Good job, Lemmings. I don't remember the text coming up like that. I noticed it was coming up when they got to the top of the staircase as well. Must be what they do. I like how it freezes when I hold down this thing as well. Look at that juicy, bubbly green acid that totally wouldn't melt the flesh off their bones if they accidentally fell into that. Definitely that wouldn't happen. Such an innocent, cute game as this would never be so cruel as to show them graphically dissolving in those. You wonder why it's there though. That's the thing about some of these early levels. There's a lot of hazards and stuff like that that just don't mean anything. You're never going to touch that. You can't. You physically can't get there. These levels are bigger than they need to be. Look at this. Look at all the black space. Oh. Lemmings TM has stopped working. They had to put the TM in the executable name. That's priceless. Let's see if we can debug Lemmings. I don't know about you, but I never clicked the debug button, so I don't know what... well, nothing happened is what happened. That was really quite a... That was nothing. Well, let's go back to where we were. Oh, not this again. Oh, well, yeah, this again. Let's channel Bob the Builder again. We need your help, Bob. Bob! This is 1996 as well, so this will be the old Bob the Builder, not that CGI series that they started making. Actually, I don't think... no, Bob the Builder didn't even exist when this was made. Man, what a frightful thing to imagine a world without Bob the Builder. Luckily, we've got Lemming the Builder. As I was saying earlier, though, this game's showing its age because there's a lot of tedious stuff, and these builders tend to be at the heart of it. There's a lot of levels where you need to build a massive staircase to go way up there, and you got nothing to do but just sit there and wait for literally minutes until you've got the thing built. They really didn't care back then about fun. Despite this being the fun difficulty level, there was no consideration for fun back then. It was probably all just a giant, just a great big conspiracy to get little children to be distracted for as long as possible while their parents did whatever parents do. That's what video games were all about back then, wasn't it? It was all just a giant exercise to waste children's time. But then adults started doing it too. Let's get them all in there before anything badness. Another thing, yeah, because back in the old days, games were for children. There wasn't any ambiguity about that. They were meant for children. Children were supposed to play them, and that was as far as it went. If you were an adult and you played games, you were a sick, twisted monster pressing buttons on a controller. You just might as well get burnt at the stake for that. No, I'm only joking. They wouldn't have gone that far. It wasn't the 1950s. Now, we've got to get into the exit that's behind the Lemmings. They're there, but oh no, the Lemmings are heading straight for a bottomless pit. What are we going to do? And also, there's just a thing there for no good reason, really. Well, don't worry, because we can block him. The blocker. That's the first blocker. You you make our Lemming a blocker, and they'll act like a wall. Any Lemming that touches them is going to go backwards. And they're going to go straight backwards into that over there. Yeah. I guess that platform over there was in case you wanted to do some clever trick to not let them all die. And speaking of let them all die, why don't we see what happens if they touch that spinning flame thing? I'm sure that this being a nice innocent game, nothing bad is going to happen to them. Except that you can't really see it too clearly, but as you might be guessing from the little smoke bubbles that are coming up over there, there's something less than pleasant happening to the Lemmings that touch that swirling death trap. And the only question is, how long is it going to take before all of them get death trapped? Well, here comes the last ones. Yep, they all burnt into nothing. Oh well. Let's see if we can do something to make that not happen this time. I'll use one of the slammers. That'll save you. Don't worry, little Lemmings. You're all going to pull out of this better than you did last time. If I can find the blocker anyway. There he is, blocker. Block. No! Crumbs, did you see that? I totally clicked that one. I totally clicked the one that got fired there. You saw that. I clicked that one, but the game decided that I clicked one that was way on the far right-hand side of this box. Because that's just what we're dealing with here. There. Now what? Uh-oh. Fast actions are called for, and I don't really have much of a fastness, but that's okay. I managed to... Oh, I just realised what's going to happen as well. Got the blocker, block. Yeah, that did that. Good. Do I have enough? How many Lemmings are in this level? Have we got enough stuff, or do we need to start digging? Well, this is the easy level, so you'd expect it to be easy, wouldn't you? But looks are deceiving sometimes. Sometimes the easiness isn't quite as easy as it would suggest it is being called easy. I mean fun. This is the fun level. Down we go. Yeah, is this game still well known? Does anybody know this exists anymore? Because they certainly did stop making them in the 90s. It's not like this. It's not like Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario. They're not still making these. They stopped cranking out Lemmings as... Well, that's one thing as well. When a blocker's become a blocker, there is nothing you can do to save them. He's going to just keep blocking there till Kingdom Come. He couldn't kill us, so we're just going to have to kill him. I'm sorry, Lemming, but you brought this on yourself, even though I was the one that made you a blocker, but the facts don't matter. You're dead. That's what matters. And as soon as the little pixel dust just fades away completely, it ends. What now? What have we got here happening? What's where? We've got a bunch of arrows pushing to the left over and over again, thrusting leftwards. And what does that mean? I know what it means. It means that if we try to use a slammer on the walls have none of it. It just says, "Pods off, Lemmings. Pods off out of it, Lemmings. We're not having you." Oh wait, the Lemmings are Scottish, so that wasn't what the wall said. The wall said, "Pods off out of it, you wee bad pots. You're not getting through me. Aye, I want and have your broth. And, Scottish things." You think I might know more Scottish things, but no. You don't know me very well. Let's get up there. Let's use a climber to climb that. The climber's going up the wall. Now, we better make him a parachute too. Yeah, because otherwise he would most assuredly die from that fall. If I didn't mention it before, if they fall too far, they're dead. They'll literally splat into nothingness if they reach the bottom. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to... If we pickaxe the floor, I wonder if it'll work a trick that I wanted. It won't work the trick that I wanted. No. Fine. We'll block and block. Now, here's this thing I was talking about. Look at this. I want a climber in there to climb this right-hand wall. Look at them all swarming about. Let's see if I can get one that's facing right. No, in a second. I did now, but the first time I didn't, and you're going to see what happens with that. Look, right there. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. But that's okay, though. Because we can parachute him down, which I just did, and he'll fall down and then come back over there again. So it's all good, there's nothing wrong, everything's fine. Sugar and dandy. Now, down you down, that's good. Over there. Didn't mind me! What's this? Oh, you're blocking my way! No, I didn't want to go back! But you do want to go back, my friend. That lemming, this one right here, his name is Peterkin. Peterkin is his name, and he's going to smash through that wall. We can smash through it from the right. What's this? What? Oh, yeah, it's you. That's fine. Good. We'll also bomb you, because you're not required anymore. You're surplus to requirements. Just like any good despot, dictator, taskmaster, like I am here. Once you've outlived your usefulness, yeah, that's what you get. You got it's a harsh regime here in Lemmings land, but this is how you got to play it. That's these little lemmings need to get put in their place because that's what it seems because I don't want to think. That's why. That's pretty much it. And now, what now? Well, this looks like an easy one, doesn't it? Got a smash through there and bridge up there. No problem. Anyone can do it, but there's a cunning trap awaiting us if we hadn't spotted it. Do you see what's about to happen if I don't employ fast and clever actions? Can you guess what's about to take place? Oh, there, that's right. It would have just fallen down into the abyss. The black, milky depths. The version I had of this back in the old 90s, before this PC version, the first one I ever played, what have I done? I shouldn't have let them keep going. Now it's going to be a hard to build. No, it's okay, it's building. I had the Nintendo Entertainment System version of this. I remember being fascinated by this game. I remember being fascinated by the complete blackness all around, everywhere. The abyss that surrounded them. I had a strange relationship to video games and things. I'm just trying to remember now. The blackness fascinated me. It felt like they were in some kind of nightmarish void. I think I fought too hard about games. Anyway, I can't really describe what exactly it was that I felt, but it's like they're in just a horrible alien dimension where everything's just dark and death. I had horrible nightmares as a child. I sure like to think of darkness and death a lot. And the Lemmings sure bring that out with the black abyss universe that they live in. There's strangely well animated water stuff. Water stuff. I don't even trust that to be actual water. It's probably corrosive, evil water. There's something about the Lemmings world that just always seemed very alien to me. These black voids that they just are in. Which is weird, because they all seem to come out of a little wooden door thing. Wet blocker. Does he need to be blocking? No, he doesn't. Look, that column, the Greek pillar that somehow exists here, the sideways Greek pillar thing, has got a nice Greek niceness at the end of it to stop them from falling off. How courteous of the ancient Greeks to think of these Lemmings. It's so nice. So little, so rarely do cultures do stuff like that. Take into consideration the people that will come thousands of years later. Those ancient Greeks really should have put some thought into that. Well, what are we? That's there. What we've got to do here is I remember this is rather tedious. Look at this. We've got to do the same thing several times in a row. We've got to break down that and then build her up to that with Bob. Bob the Builder got a #1 pop single in the British top of the charts. Goodness sake. Oh wait, I'm pressing the wrong button. I pushed the wrong button. Didn't want that. I was crashing through that bridge. There. That's better. When I get to the top of that, and then we're going to employ a basher, a slammer. That's what I call them. We're going to use the slammer to the full extent of the jam to get through that pillar at the top. No! Oh dear. No. Yeah, I guess I was more attuned to the reality of the I guess I saw the world of the Lemmings as a very grim place. They're just always dying to horrible death traps all around them in this black, abyssal void. It all looks nice and cute and stuff on the surface, but at its heart, it's a horrible, monstrous murderland. I was very attuned to that sort of stuff as a child, it seems. Looking back at it. I had a I had a kind of sensitivity to the idea of there being a horrible, dark underbelly to the nice, playful, cute niceness on the surface. I don't know. I tend to feel as though Twinkleberry was inspired very heavily by a lot of my childhood fears and things. But if you don't know who Twinkleberry is at the time of me uploading this, then you'll just have to wait around for that. Anyway, let's get the Lemmings. Or at least this is the last one of these. Lame, 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 lame. One thing I would like to know is that there's a number of Lemmings, there's a number of songs in Lemmings. They took a lot of stock music in Lemmings. There's a bunch of classical music, which, much like how most people have heard of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles names before they heard of the Italian painters they were based on. There's a bunch of music in this game that a lot of people probably only ever heard because of this game. And one of the tunes that plays in it is, what is it? It's a hymn. What is it called? Religious music. It's that. That plays. And then that's one of the levels. Fittingly enough, I think it plays in the Thunder Basement Radiators levels. Anyway, that's one of them. But then about halfway through that, though, it suddenly changes to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly theme tune. And then that's the second half of it. And I would just like to know what was the thought process of that. Oh, brother, not again. Lemmings sure just likes to not work, doesn't it? Well, I mean, I could go back through this again. Most tedious level we've been through so far. But you know what I'm going to do? I remember this from the 90s. Look at that. Look at this. The Windows 95 menus yet again up here. I can cheat the level. We can cheat away. That's the end of it. The deadness. You cheated. You need to come back and try the level again. No, I don't. I don't have to do that. If you cheat, then look what happens. You get a little question mark on your icon, but you still get to go past it. That's what really matters. That is the name. That is the name of the game. That's not true. The name's Lemmings. But in any case, I'm going to go past that. Don't let your eyes deceive you. I never mentioned the level names. Each level has a name. Just Dig was the first one. Most of these level names aren't really very remarkable, but they're names of levels. It's nice that they named them. This was back in the days when everything had a name. In games. All the enemies had a name, and a picture, artwork drawn for them in the enclosed instruction book. Lemmings was no different. Lemmings gets weird though. Some of the level names get weird. There's one later called A Tribute to MC Escher, who is an artist that drew weird things. Which is fine, but the level has nothing to do with anything like that. But they just call it that anyway. Now, what are we doing? More, oh brother. Oh, what do we see there? There's another one of their devilish traps. That is some kind of noose thing. But it's actually not. It's not a noose, is it? It's just a bunch of rope that is there waiting to take up a lemming. A lemming sets foot in that, they'll get slung up and flung round and smash their head on the ground and die horribly, I suppose. In we go, that's those. Well, just got to smash our way through these pillars, and then we'll deal with that stuff over there when it comes. Just like real life. The horrible, nightmarish, abominable thing you got to face over there. It's coming. You're heading for it, but just got to concentrate on the thing you're doing now, haven't you? You know you're in for a serious, miserable time this evening when you've got to go to the royal flower vase painting session at Buckingham Palace, which you've been invited to on pain of death. But you know you're not going to enjoy that, but just go through your just do your parking ticket job now. Just issue parking tickets to the cars like you're supposed to do until 5 PM, and then you worry about that later. Now, what's this? Speaking of worrying about things later, we've got something to worry about right now. Well, we better start blocking with him first. Good, that's good. Now, we want to build, but we're going to not build until we get down enough inside of that deep triangle square, because if we build up there and build way over there, it's quite possible that by the time we reach the over there, he might be falling too far and it'll die when he falls down there after he's finished the bridge. I mean, that might still happen, but let's trust it. Now, is anything going to kill them? Maybe this wasn't such a good idea, huh? Maybe this was actually quite a bad idea. Brother, how many times has it crashed now? 3? 3 crashes? Oh, I think it's 3. What on earth? What? I mean, that's not where we were, but you know what, whatever. Like, just like the Lemmings have to do, we've got to roll with these punches we're dealt. Let's bridge over there. Come on, Lemmies. Block. Got a block or dead? We don't want dead, so block. Good. Right, you build your bridge. Now, what are we doing here? Well, there's a flame fire up there. Which is going to kill us. That thing will destroy all Lemmings. No matter what, we can't avoid that if we go up there, so I'm wondering what we're supposed to do. I don't remember if you're able to punch through that blocky brick stuff up there. I think that when it's got those pins on the edges, I think that means you can't damage it, I think. So we're in for a fun time, aren't we? I don't even know what is even what here. I don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can't do. Oh well. I guess at least it's safe now to kill him. I hope he doesn't build his bricks into the wall, because I don't have anything to deal with that if he does. I just realised. No, he won't. He's there. Don't die. I didn't die. What are we going to do here? Well, I think I might know. Actually, wait. No, I don't know. I just realised I don't have any equipment to break anything. So what am I supposed to do? We can build, we can block, we can bomb. Don't tell me that I've got to bomb my way through stuff. Have I got to use the bombs to get up there? Well, if that is what I have to do, it's already too late. Well, maybe not. Let's not quit yet. Let's try making him climb up there. The parachute. Oh no, nothing. No. Oh, forget this. This is just a showcase of Lemmings. Let's go. Let's cheat that level too. What was that? Yeah, it was this, wasn't it? Originals. Let's just complete the fun difficulty, why don't we? Alright, now I'm not... Stuff this, I'm cheating this one as well. You've seen enough of that. Next level. Next, fun. Don't do anything too hasty. Yeah, I'll be the judge of that, Lemming. Ah, this is the one I remember. This is a famous level. Well, I remembered it. There's heaven over there. Oh, yeah, that was definitely supposed to be horns on that thing's head. Bill Gates was upset by it. It reminded him too much of his high school prom. Oh no! I'm guessing that his high school prom didn't go well for him. You know, just assuming that. I mean, it seems like a reasonable assumption, doesn't it? You think Bill Gates got any action at his prom? No, I don't think he did. What do you think Bill Gates was doing? At the high school prom, he's gonna... who comes first, him or him? Well, they're both saved, luckily. That was fortunate. Yeah, what do you think Bill Gates did at his prom? What do you think he did? What do you think, huh? How much money would you be willing to pay? How much money would you be willing to gamble with me that he found a wall somewhere in a quiet part of the building the prom was in, and then just rested his back on the wall and drank his orange juice until it all the nasty noises and moving bodies just went away? How much do you bet that that's what Bill Gates spent his high school prom doing? I mean, I'm not a prejudiced fellow. I'm not saying that Bill Gates is a friendless loser. No. No, I'm actually not saying that. I have no idea. I mean, for all I know, maybe Bill Gates was a jock. Maybe he was maybe Bill Gates defies all the stereotypes of nerds. I mean, I'm going to guess that he doesn't, but it is possible he didn't. You got to, just like Dracula would say, got to keep an open mind. Maybe Bill Gates was the life and soul of the prom. Maybe he was the prom king. Maybe he danced with the prom queen and had a thoroughly pleasant experience with the prom queen, and then she became his wife. And stuff. I don't know. Isn't Neil deGrasse... Isn't Neil Tyson supposed to be a body jock man? He's a sports person, I think. He's got a body. That's supposed to, I believe. I'd never even seen the man until... the first time I saw him was several weeks ago. I saw a picture of him, I mean. I didn't even know he was black. I wasn't even aware of that. Let alone that he was a body. Neil Tyson. And I'm calling him Neil Tyson because I don't understand why he always gets referred to as Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't need to hear his middle name with the lowercase d in D and the uppercase G in grass. I don't need to hear his full name every time he's mentioned. I don't understand. I don't get it. I wonder if he would take if Neil takes offence at me calling him without his middle name, then he could take it up in the comments section. Because I'm not... If Neil's got some kind of problem with me not saying his middle name, then he can leave a comment to complain. But if he doesn't do that, I'm going to assume that he's fine with it. Off you go, Lemmings. Why are they in groups? Must be just the way that things went. We don't need you anymore, so you're dead. That's what Karl Marx said. So it works. What is this now? Well, the only way we can save these lemmings is if we dig. Oh, that's going to go badly, I think. I think that the way I've dug that dig, unless we push them out, which we can't do, the way I've dug that dig, the lemmings are going to fall down. Oh no, it's okay. I thought that hole would get too big and the lemmings would fall down to their deaths. That's not a problem. What is a problem, though, is that I'm noticing they're all getting crushed to death by that crusher over there. That's great. That's real nice as well. Thanks, DMA. Thanks, Rockstar. Thanks, Grand Theft Auto programmers. That's real swell. I sure had a way of anticipating that, didn't I? I sure knew that was going to happen. There's certainly a sign there to let you know that a giant death pillar is going to come down and death your lemmings. Well, we're just going to have to deal with that, sadly, as with everything else. There's the door. How do we... When I bomb him, he's going to break a hole in the floor, isn't he? What are we supposed to do here? I'm stumped. Yeah, they're going to fall straight to the depths. Oh. Knock. There. No. Now what? Wait, how do you... Oh, I remember what you do here. I remember. It's okay, folks. That's what we do. Assuming that doesn't kill them. Assuming they don't fall to their deaths at the edge of... Oh, you know! There. Let's see what happens now, huh? So yeah, looking back on it... Oh, well, I was right. That is exactly what they're doing. And they can't break through this... What? How many do we need to save? Maybe we can just... How many is it? 40%? How many are there in total? Maybe if we just give enough of them parachutes. Maybe. Let's see if we can build a bridge over that. I've got a faint memory telling me that there's crushed crabs all over the... Crushed crabs. I've got a faint memory that there's crushed crabs all over this whole bottom bit, though. It's going to kill us no matter what. I was thinking maybe we could outsmart that trap. Let's see, though. Oh, yeah. Get back, yeah. He's not going back. Oh, he's making his way. But yeah, look. Well, it's possible to get past that with enough well-done bridges. But because you can't see where they're going to come from, it's not really very good, is it? Now, let's give enough of these things... Let's give enough lemmings parachutes to survive. I'm a pragmatist. I don't care how many of you twerps die, as long as we get enough to satisfy the minimum. It's a tight ship here at the Good Ship Lem. All of you lemmings you're just gonna have... Sacrifices must be made, alright? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Blah blah blah, etc. All these rationalizations justify my actions, so if you don't like it, then it doesn't really matter, because you don't have any control over your situation, Lemmings. And that's what really, at the end of the day, that's what it's really all about. I don't believe I gave any of these ones over here the means to survive that fall, but, well, let's let them go anyway. Well, let's see if that was enough. Yeah, it was. That was enough. Now what? Are they going to go backwards? No, they're not. Oh, it's this one. I remember this. What, have we finished easy mode fun adventure level yet? No, we're still going to fun. Yep. And that's enough for now, I think. You've got a gist of Lemmings. Goodbye.